Okay, so here we have a scene that might be similar to what you were working on with balance, both compositional and physical balance. And we have a white surface shader, and that's it. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new material. And this is going to be a marble shader. Marble. And to hide this for a second, to get this to work, we're going to need, I'm hitting tab, and I'm looking for file, texture. And then I'm going to middle mouse drop this on the base color and the subsurface color. And I need to give it a little weight so that it unlocks that. All right, and then I have a marble texture. And we can, of course, adjust the UVs of this so it looks a little better. Over here. Which will match the proportion of this a little better. So we'll have less stretching. Okay, and then let's give some other stuff. So another way to assign materials to things is if you double click, you can assign materials this way too. This could be nice if you have a lot of stuff going. All right, and let's play with this marble a little bit. Turn the roughness down. All right, so let's also create one other shader. So once again, create material, standard surface. This one I'm going to use a preset gold, and I'll assign it to a couple objects. Okay, so without the UVs, this marble materials wouldn't work, right? So we need that to get this happy. And I can 100%. All right. What else do we want to do? Let's make sure the light is bouncing around a little bit. All right. So now that we have this set up, we can look at mixing materials or combining materials across objects. And to do that, we need a new node. I'm going to just clear this. And it's going to be called, I'm going to just start typing mix, AI mix shader. And so one of our shaders is going to be marble. Let's give it a name, actually. Sorry, the gold. And the other one is going to be the marble. And let's start by assigning it this cone. And tear this off. So by default, back to the hypershade, it's just a blend between the two. So if I go all the way to one side, it's gold, all the way to the other side, it's marble, and that's somewhere in the middle. All right. But like with so many things, we can plug a texture into this. So we plugged a texture into the base color and the subsurface to make this marble material. We can also plug a texture into this mix weight to control where the material is applied. So I'm going to make a ramp, and I will set it. I'll set the interpolation to none. And see what I can do by adjusting the black and white is I can control where the gold appears and where the marble appears. And of course I can have it, I can play with different parts of the ramp. Add waviness to this. I can add noise to this. And there's a lot of cool stuff you can do just with this. But what I'm interested in exploring for this assignment is the mix between 2D and 3D. So what if I wanted to have a circle, and I wanted it to come from the point of view of the camera, and it would control what was gold and what was marble? How would I do it? So to do that, we're going to make another ramp, but this time we're going to make it a projection. And we're going to have that projection be driven by our camera. So we're going to change it from planar, we'll look at planar in a future video, to perspective. And so the perspective sets it to a camera. Which camera? We want shot cam. All right, and then we're going to take the out color of this, plug it into the mix weight. So out color or to mix. All right, now when I assign, I'm going to assign this mix shader to everything, even the background. Now the blend of colors is being driven by this ramp. So again, turn off interpolation and set it to. Question is, why is it an oval? So you want to make sure that our projection is the camera and the resolution. And so now what we can do is we can have the circle that's driving this be in two-dimensional space because it's being driven by the fulcrum of the camera, but it can affect objects in a three-dimensional scene. It's pretty cool. All right. And if we look at this from another point of view, you can kind of see what's happening. So here's our perspective camera, right? And our shot cam is on, is basically projecting that circle shape into the scene. So you can see how it's like a projector, and that's controlling where. So it's a three-dimensional projection, but from the point of view of the shot cam, the projection and the camera line up, and so it looks like a two-dimensional form. And this is a super fun and powerful thing to play with. For example, you could have a Photoshop file, and this is what I'd like you to play with, a black and white Photoshop file with text or whatever, and that could drive what you, where the materials get applied in the scene. So another thing we could do, maybe instead of gold, so if I go to my gold shader, if I want this to be, let's say, a light, go down, and make it my marble, we'll make it dark. I could turn off the light in my scene. And I could turn the projection into a light source that lights up. It's literally, now I'm treating it very much like a projector. This light being beamed into the scene from the point of view of the projector, which can also give you really interesting effects. what if I wanted this to be typographic? So I'm going to go back. We had this before, the gold marble. What I could do then is create a Photoshop file. We want it to be a square because our aspect ratio of our scene is a square. And then we'll say all that glitters all that glitters is not gold. And I can save this. In our source images. Call this gold text .tiff. Even in here. And then back to Maya. And instead of this being driven by a ramp, I can make a file, texture, plug this into my projection image, grab my file, gotta reverse the order of this. There we go. And once again, if we look at it from another point of view, you can get a better sense of what's going on here. The text is being projected into the scene. And it's lining up from the point of view of the camera. All right.